At the height of his reign, King David stood tall among the rulers of the ancient world. He had conquered enemies, united the tribes of Israel, brought the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem, and written songs that pierced the soul. He was known as a man after God's own heart. But even those closest to God are not immune to temptation, and David was about to fall. It was spring, the season when kings traditionally went off to war. But David, uncharacteristically, remained behind in Jerusalem while his army, under the command of Joab, besieged the Ammonite city of Rabbah. One evening, David rose from his couch and walked along the roof of his palace. From that vantage point, he saw her. A woman, beautiful and unaware, was bathing. David should have looked away. He should have gone back inside, but he didn't. Instead, he asked about her. A servant hesitantly replied, "That is Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam and the wife of Uriah the Hittite." The warning was built right into the words, she was married. Not just to anyone, but to one of David's own mighty men, loyal and brave. Still, David sent for her. Bathsheba came. Whether out of duty, fear, or confusion, we are not told. But that night the king crossed a sacred line. He took another man's wife as his own. Days passed. Then came the message. Bathsheba had conceived. Panic set in. David scrambled for a solution. He summoned Uriah home from the battlefield under the pretense of wanting a war update, but his real aim was to get Uriah to spend the night with his wife, so the child might be presumed his. But Uriah was too noble. He refused to go to his home. "How can I go to my house to eat and drink and lie with my wife, while the Ark and Israel and Judah remain in tents?" he asked. Even when David got him drunk the next night, Uriah still would not go home. Cornered, David resorted to something darker. He sent Uriah back to the battlefield carrying sealed orders, his own death warrant. Joab was instructed to place Uriah where the fighting was fiercest, then withdraw, leaving him exposed. The plan worked. Uriah was killed. And after a period of mourning, Bathsheba became David's wife. To the world, it may have looked like David had covered his tracks. But God had seen everything. The Lord sent the prophet Nathan to confront the king. Nathan came with a parable. There were two men in a city, one rich and one poor. The rich man had many flocks and herds, but the poor man had only one little ewe lamb. The rich man took the poor man's lamb to prepare a meal for a guest. David burned with anger. "That man deserves to die," he declared. Nathan's eyes didn't flinch. "You are the man," he said. Silence. The weight of truth hit David like a hammer. He had taken what was not his and orchestrated a murder to hide it. David fell under the crushing weight of his guilt. He confessed, "I have sinned against the Lord." Nathan told him God had put away his sin, but consequences would follow. The sword would never depart from his house. The child born from the union with Bathsheba would die, and chaos would ripple through David's family. True to God's word, the child became ill and died. David fasted and prayed for days, lying on the floor in sackcloth. But when the child died, he rose, washed, and worshipped. His servants were confused. But David said, "While the child was alive, I fasted and wept. But now he is dead, why should I fast? I will go to him, but he will not return to me." From that sorrow, however, came unexpected grace. David comforted Bathsheba, and in time she gave birth to another son, Solomon. And the Lord loved him. David's story with Bathsheba is a cautionary tale, raw, painful, and honest. It shows that even the mightiest heroes of faith are deeply human. It shows that sin has consequences, even when forgiven. But it also shows that where sin abounds, grace abounds even more. Through this union, flawed though it began, God would bring forth Solomon, and through Solomon's line would come the Messiah himself. The story doesn't excuse David's sin, but it reveals the stunning depths of God's mercy. If you are loving this video, please hit both that subscribe and like button to help this message to spread far and wide. Check out the rest of the Bible Stories playlist to enjoy heartwarming events of the Bible brought alive. Thank you for supporting the Wake Up channel. God bless you.